Hi, Samarth. Thank you so much for joining on Blitz Business. It's good to have you.
Hey Ashish, pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Let's get started. So, Samarth, first, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, see, I'm an engineer from background. I did my engineering from RV College of Engineering, Bangalore, in electrical electronics. Right after graduation, I think within 2 months post graduation, I ventured directly into my very first startup. And even though it was a completely different line, we raised some funds, we pivoted a bit, and then eventually 6 years later, we got acquired.
So, what was the company and what's the trick to getting acquired in 6 months?
Not 6 months, 6 years.
6 years.
So
Okay.
there are some tricks to get acquired in 6 months, but I do not know those tricks yet. It took me 6 years to take it to profitability, to scale, and to acquisition. So, see, initially, post my graduation, we wanted to solve a problem that I personally was facing in my area. I'm talking about 2015, right? We had issues dealing with the local milkman. We had issues getting milk delivered to our places, or identifying high quality milk companies or milk brands we can connect with or talk to. So we decided to build an app. It was kind of a college project. We were not thinking of it as a startup as such, but we were just thinking of it as a college project. We built an app for a local milkman, and the idea was we're going to enable this local milkman who supplies milk door to door to be able to connect to its customers and give his customers the ability to subscribe, to pause subscription, etc. So that is how we had started. We raised, I think, about a crore and a half in funding for that business model. Eventually we started scale. I think we became one of the biggest milk subscription platform in Delhi NCR before a lot of other players came into the market. And in that period of time, what I understood was that our model was completely flawed. The initial model that we started, right? A hyper local grocery delivery that we were thinking of, a subscription model that we were thinking of, primarily based on milk, was flawed, that the unit economics was not positive in that model. You're spending a lot of money to actually do the deliveries, and you're getting very little margins to work with. So you can try adding a delivery charge to it, or you can try selling milk which is slightly higher in value or in price. Eventually people would not accept that. So we could see that even though we were scaling, we were managing a massive volume, but the margins were not there to sustain. And I did not want at that time to talk to more investors, get more investors onboarded, even when I myself was not confident of the business ever becoming a profitable business. And as you can see, a lot of ventures these days, they focus just on scale, scale, scale. They don't really focus on profitability. My focus was a sustainable business model eventually. So we decided to shut down the operations side of the business. And in that process, when we were doing that, when we were shutting down the operations, one of the milk brands we were working with, he came and he saw our platform, our software that we had built, our application that we had built for ourselves. And he was like, Samart, boss, baaki sab to theek hai, ye kya hai? What is the software that you are using? And he questioned me. He's like, is this Zoho? One of the ERP systems, CRM systems available in the market. And I'm like, no, this is something that we have built to manage our own distribution, our own subscription. And he's like, can I use this? Since you are shutting down your operations, you're shutting down your milk delivery business, is it possible for me to at least take this software? It can help us because we are doing a massive volume. We are distributing to retailers, we are distributing to distributors, and we don't have any software in place to manage our operations. We want to know how many crates went into the market. We want to know what leakages happened. We want to know if invoices were raised for those. And we don't have any real-time visibility of what's actually happening on the field. So just as a trial, we offered him our system, and he loved it. One thing led to another. He referred us to two more people, then three more people, and then from almost shutting down our business, we became a profitable SaaS company. We became a milk distribution company to a milk distribution SaaS platform. And eventually we got noticed by one of the largest agri-tech players in the world, based out of Texas. And one LinkedIn message, and then later further discussions, we got acquired. So it was a very
Okay.
interesting 6-year
Wow.
journey.
Lot of questions now coming to my mind. So currently, then you are running under the you're part of it, or you took an exit, or what's your current position?
So if you're talking about shareholding point of view, all the shareholders completely exited post the acquisition, right, including myself. Right, all of us completely exited the business. I personally joined the parent company based out of US to help them with their operations in Southeast Asia. But as of 31st of Jan 2024, I have also 100% exited the parent company as well, and I'm moving on to my next venture.
So you're fully exited. Good to know. So and
Completely.
what was the
Yeah.
US company name?
EverAg.
Okay,
It was
understood.
previously known as dairy.com because they were primarily focused on dairy technology and they were the leaders in dairy technology in the world. But
Okay,
as the company acquired more companies, as they acquired more businesses across the world, they became a platform that solved everything in agriculture, which is why the name ever.ag, everything agriculture. So now they're in everything agriculture. They're a software company that solves all agricultural related problems.
understood. So is your software currently in being used, or what's the shape of that particular product?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it is now under Everag and being used in India, being used internationally. It's now in their control, their baby to take things.
Understood. And when you saw Samar this opportunity ki ye wala particular piece is working, the software piece is working, was the decision easy when you were talking to these US guys? They wanted to acquire versus running your own and maybe selling it at much premium, or you thought इससे ज़्यादा scope इसमें है नहीं, better to exit?
Right. So see, there is a concept in M&A where sometimes 2 plus 2 equals to 5. Right. There are you can either raise funds and try to scale your business to a certain level and then hope for a very good valuation, or you can identify a right synergistic partner, integrate, and provide a lot more value to your customers. The position that we were at, we had the clientele, we had the right business model. We were lacking in certain areas, such as the right industry knowledge. Now, I don't come from a dairy background. I don't even come from an agri background, not even remotely, right? I'm an electrical engineer. The idea to get into the dairy side of the business was not to build a SaaS platform for the dairy businesses, but it was primarily to become, a milk distribution company, which did not have a lot of requirement for dairy knowledge. So as and when we got into the SaaS business, it was extremely tough for us to understand the market requirements or provide the right value. We were working with almost 120 clients at the time of acquisition. There is no other dairy tech platform in India that was working with so many clients at that point of time. But we had also reached a plateau. There were not a lot of direct to consumer milk businesses in India. So our only way to scale further was to expand internationally.
All right. So, Samarth, you were saying I mean, you reached the saturation point and the logical path move way forward was international and the knowledge gap, etc., was a challenge. So, first, let's discuss a little bit about the 120 clients. So, what was the average ticket size for this sort of? I mean, I know SaaS products, you cannot charge much, especially in this segment. I think the ticket size sounds smaller, or correct me if I'm wrong, per customer.
So this is the interesting part. We were charging, our business model was a percentage of the revenue. We did not have a fixed fee. And
Really?
I was able, yeah, I was able to convince our clients to work on a percentage and a revenue sharing model. And this happened by chance, by the way. This was never planned. And the first client that I'm talking to, and he's like, "So, what's the fee?" And at that time, I had not even thought about what I'm going to charge. And usually, there's a thought process that goes behind pricing your SaaS platform. It's the value that you're providing, right? The return that a client can get on using your platform, and that's how you rightly price your product. But in our case, at that time, I was just sitting in front of the client, and the client just threw that question at me, like, how much are you going to charge? And I'm like, you know what, I'm thinking we're going to charge 1% of every sale that you make. So at that very moment, the client, was a bit in a shock, and he's like, 1%, that is a huge amount to charge, for just providing a software at that time. And I was like, listen, we're not coming on board as just a software for you. We are trying to come with you as your technology partner. From here on, whatever you need to scale your business is my responsibility. But I need that motivation. I need that skin in the game that, yes, if I help you scale, I also get a chunk of your scaled up business. So that initial first client agreed. And at that time, we set the example for the entire industry. And after us, every company that launched a SaaS platform for the dairy, they started charging the same price as we were charging. They started charging 1%. Some came at 0.5%, 0.6%. But we were the one to set that trend of charging, a percentage of their business. So if we talk about ticket size, we were working with some very small clients as well, who were paying us not more than, I would say, 6-7 lakhs a year. Two clients who were paying us almost 70 lakhs, 80 lakhs annually for our platform. So we had a wide range of clients, the smallest to the largest. And the benefit that our clients were getting, they were paying us based on their business volume, right? So they felt very comfortable. And it also gave them a lot of confidence that if we go down, you go down as well. So we were also highly motivated to make sure that they make.
But somehow, the model seems off to me, because if I'm a dairy company, I'm selling something. How is I'm comfortable to shell 50-70 lakh for a software? And so, just to give you an info, so my background is in software. My other company sells software for living for last 10 years, different vertical. And so it sounds very interesting. So how, I mean, a customer willing to pay 70 lakh in dairy segment, uh, so what's the value add? I still need to understand, like, what are you helping with them out, etc. Because as SaaS, it's pure profit, right? If you're once it's made, it's made. What is that turnover, or I mean, incremental, whatever it is. So help me understand.
Yeah, so that was what some of the questions that came to me from our clients as well. He's like, yeah, if we touch 100 crores, you're telling me I'm going to pay you 1 crore per annum?
Yeah,
And with all the confidence sitting in front of them, I would say yes, absolutely. Because, so Ashish, since you are from a tech background, you understand very well the costs involved in building a software from ground up,
yeah,
right? So the first thing that people were afraid of, especially businesses in the dairy side, was building a software for ground up. Because the kind of system that we had built, for them to build that would have costed them easily anywhere between 50 to 60 lakhs, right? Nothing
okay,
less.
okay,
A substandard version of it with bare minimum features, I would say, 15, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. But what we had built at that time, right, it would have costed them somewhere around 50 to 60 lakhs. So that's point number one. Second, it is not just the cost of building the software, it is also the knowledge and the experience that goes into it. So what I used to tell my clients is that you can go ahead and build your software today, but whatever you'll be building will be based on your own personal experience. While what I am building today is an experience of 120 clients combined. So the problem statement that you as a small dairy is facing today is going to be very different than you as a larger dairy is going to face tomorrow. You're going to have different problem today as, let's say, a 1 lakh liter per day dairy, and you're going to have different problems as you touch 10 lakh liters per day volume or 5 lakh liters per day volume. But since I already have clients who are at 5 lakh, 10 lakh, I know those problems, and my system is already there to handle that scale and to assist you. Now, we were into direct to consumer, we were into B2B businesses. And when you're in direct to consumer, there's a consumer facing application we used to provide to our clients as well, right? And again, with a consumer facing application, there's a lot of thought process. We had people from IIT, IIM working best way possible to understand what the market truly needs. And these are intangible values that you can't really put a number with. So which is where we were able to command that 1% and able to get that 1%.
And what were the features? So what were the functionalities the customer was getting?
Again, depending on whether you were in a direct to consumer vertical or you were in a B2B vertical, a direct to consumer vertical would get a consumer facing application where the consumers are able to, it's white labeled. So let's say you're a brand X, you'll get an X branded, a white labeled application where people can subscribe to your product. You can launch various marketing schemes. People can, add money to the wallet, and all of that again managed through a backend system and then passed on to a field application, which is then provided to their delivery riders who get to know where they're supposed to collect money from, how much milk they're supposed to deliver where, in case there is any leakage, how to report that. So every minute operational inefficiency that was in the dairy business, we were targeting. Now, if I get to the full feature list, it's a humongous software.
So
But
you had
what I can say is that we were. Mhm.
so you had more D2C or B2B customers. What were your
We started off as a D2C and then eventually moved on to being a pure B2B brand as well. We launched our B2B, I think, 4 or 5 months ago.
so out of 120, it was like what was the split? 50, 60, 50, 50? What was
All of them were our prospect B2B because all of them wanted a B2B software as well.
oh,
They all had the B2B business. So B2C was a smaller vertical of their entire business, and B2B was the main vertical that they were venturing into.
understood? And what were the functionalities in B2B in terms of warehouse management or something? I don't know.
See, we did not get into warehouse management. For B2B, everything started after the production is done and the product is ready for dispatch. So over there, planning the route, our system would analyze which distributor is based out of which location and which truck can deliver to that particular distributor in the best possible efficient manner. And when I say efficient, maximum loading of the truck, right? Because many a times they plan their route in a way that the truck is not even fully loaded. And if the truck is going not fully loaded, then you're losing money, right? You're utilizing more trucks than you actually need. So a system would help utilize or make the route more efficient. It would help them track. I don't know if you've seen, if you go to any puncher shop today, you will either see an Amul crate or a Mother Dairy crate lying over there in which they've kept their tools. How is the crate reaching there? And it's a perfectly fine crate. It's not that it's broken or not in use. It's a perfectly fine crate. It's because they're losing. So I think India loses, I remember this, about $100 million worth of crates every year. I mean, that's the business for all the crate manufacturing companies, but it's a huge loss for the companies who are doing it. And at the moment, most of the dairy companies, all they would do is mark it as a loss. Why? Right? Why? When you know exactly how many crates have left your warehouse, how many crates have gone to a specific distributor, you know where to collect it from. But the problem is that entire industry operates on papers. So they would just mark, okay, I've delivered 50 here. Now, where is that information going? Somebody has to take it back, enter it somewhere that, yes, I have given 50. But even if it's entered, where is the information again going that this has to be collected the next day? It's not being communicated. So that entire communication can only happen if there is a set of technology implemented at every value chain, every aspect of the value chain, right from dispatch to the point it's being collected. So that is the problem statement that you were solving in the B2B side.
Interesting. And I think Country Delight also came around that time. I think, but they have been. Was Country Delight there when you guys started?
So Country Delight was there when we were in the milk distribution side, yes. When we had started our milk distribution, we were a marketplace. Country Delight is a brand,
But they also
right? They
have
have their
this
own.
subscription service, right? They provide door to door or no?
I didn't catch you there.
I mean, they provide this subscription milk service, no?
Yes, yes. So see, they are not a software company; they are a milk company,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We do not have our own milk brand. Country Delight has their own milk brand. They supply their own. They have their own technology, their own product that they supply, and yes, they do milk subscription. So if I have to explain what we did, imagine there are 100 Country Delights out there, and we are providing them the technology to operate
Got it.
right? Country Delight has built their own software. For the others, we are providing them the software to be a Country Delight. If
So then what's next, Samarth?
so, at the moment, post acquisition, I actually moved to Dubai, and in Dubai, I started understanding the landscape. I started investing in Dubai as well, especially in the real estate side of it. And I guess in the last 2 years, the 3-4 transactions that I've done in Dubai, there are two things that I've understood very well. One is that Dubai market, the real estate market, is far advanced in terms of technology application than any other country that I've seen so far. The fastest that you can actually close a deal, the fastest the paperwork, everything, right? It's highly technologically enabled market. And the other thing is, it is enabled by the government, and there are APIs open for people to work with that data and build products. But there are not many products out there. So we are venturing into what we would say a co-pilot, and you out of others would understand this best. We're building an AI co-pilot for real estate agents in Dubai. Again, our primary market is going to be Dubai, and then eventually we'll move on to other geographies.
How is Dubai real estate doing? I remember, so I used to visit uh, Dubai a lot for because we had some customers there. But I always used to find there were empty floors right after, like, I'm talking about Jumeirah Business Bay area. I mean, who is buying? That's my
What time are
always the
you? What year are you?
yeah,
No. What year are you talking about?
2 years back.
2 years back. Okay. No. So it's been 2 years for me in Dubai. And I do agree, there are a lot of empty apartments that you're going to see, but that's primarily because majority of the buyers over there are not end users, but investors who put their businesses on Airbnb, right? Or as a holiday home. So the thing about Dubai's market, tourism is basically generating business for 6 months. And 6 months you'd see as if there's nobody in Dubai, right?
What is
Because those
between
are the
to when?
I would say it's going to be anywhere between September, October to March, April. This
Okay.
is when there's actual business happening in Dubai. This is when the tourism is there, when then the tourists flock in, and they flock in like anything. There's so many that is difficult. Now, the area that I'm living in Dubai has kind of become like a tourist spot. And during this peak season, it's difficult for me to even go down for a jog because there's just so many tourists standing over there. And that's when all these apartments that you see empty, which are primarily Airbnb, they're all full, right? So Dubai is primarily, an expat location. 90% of the population are just expats. Only
Yeah.
10% are locals, and it's completely on tourism. But the number of transactions that are happening in real estate is amazing. You have all of that data on a government provided application. You
Oh
open that
God.
app, you have everything.
So give us a sense of what are the rates compared to, I mean, I know of Delhi or Bombay rate, but just to understand, so what are the numbers we are looking per square foot or whatever? What's how, how much it comes down?
See, I can talk about the transactions that I have made so far, and we're talking about anywhere between 35,000 to 45,000 rupees per square feet.
Oh, that's not bad.
I
Not
mean, you
bad.
can say it's less than Bombay.
Way less. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Even
Yeah,
Delhi. I
but
mean, if you look in Delhi, good areas.
not
So,
really. Not really. In Gurgaon, in certain good areas as well, certain posh areas, you can still get 14, 15,000, 25,000 per square feet. But 45, 50,000, I would say you'd get some of the posh areas, um, you know, or maybe higher. Yeah, but still a better value proposition, I personally feel, considering what you eventually get, the kind of views you get over there.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
trying to calculate for this rate if someone can get DLF camellias. Uh,
Camellias would be around, I think it was, what, 60, 80,000. I don't know.
yeah, it's not coming into this in this calculation. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, interesting. Yeah, and how is the then? Okay, so there was this company. I think it's coming in the podcast. So they sell to Indian customers while in Dubai, right? And so this guy was telling me he does cold calling from Dubai to sell to Indian tier two, tier three city. He said it's so difficult to close a deal on phone. I was like, how will you sell the such things? Over a phone. It's not like aloo puri. You're just selling.
But the funny part is it's actually happening. People are able
Yeah.
to do that. They'll just make a call. And people from India is one of the biggest investor. Indians are the biggest investor in Dubai. They are investing like anything. I don't know how, but investors primarily that I've come across and the ones that I've bought from, mostly Indians. Indians are putting in a lot of money. I think there are a lot of reasons why they're doing it naturally, because if you play it right, you can get great appreciations in Dubai. Again, I would like to emphasize on if you play it right. Otherwise, you can lose a ton of money in Dubai if you don't know how to play this game. And the rental returns are really well. I mean, you can get anywhere between 7 to 12% tax free rental return on your investment. I mean, that's a great investment. Why not?
So now I am assuming you're spending more time in Dubai. So Indian government से कोई दुख दर्द है आपके?
Nine, nine, nine. Very honestly, all positive, because I have seen in the last 8 years of in the startup that the support that the Indian government is providing to the startup ecosystem in India, you don't have that in Dubai.
So invest in
In fact,
India, no?
uh,
So
sorry,
invest in India, no?
अभी 2 साल वहां पे था, वहां की इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्राई कर लिया, अब यहाँ की ट्राई करनी. Because he's here, he knows where to invest, what to do, and since I'm not here, it becomes very difficult for me to invest. So
Understood.
that's
So let's play a little fun game. So two pros and two cons of Dubai and India.
मुझे आप बैन करवाने वाले हो इंडियन गवर्नमेंट से.
कोई ऐसी
Two
कोशिश
pros and all
Go
right.
for
See,
it.
I speak purely not India, but I want to speak purely about Delhi, because
Yeah, go.
huge
Yeah.
difference. Every state has a different
Yeah.
pros and cons. So if I talk about that, air quality, I mean, that has to be the biggest reason why I spend majority of my time in Dubai.
Hmm.
Every time I come back, मेरी हालत खराब हो जाती है, because now I've gotten used to that kind of atmosphere. जब दिल्ली में आप रह रहे हो, you get used to this, right? It does not bother you. But when you go to a cleaner environment and then when you come back, it hits you. Don't get me wrong, I still prefer living in Delhi than in Dubai, but certain things have started to hit you hard.
No, when pollution come, even I'm not here. So please. Yeah, yeah, same. Yeah, one second.
Second, I would say, when it comes to the government over there, right? And all the facilities, amenities that a government is to provide, it is so smooth in Dubai. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, for me to get, an electricity connection was just 15-minute job. They have their own application, right? The electricity department, their water department has their own application. Their road and transport authority has their own application. Everything is so highly digitized that it's so convenient for a person to do anything that can take sometimes months over here. So these are the only two things I would say. From a health point of view, naturally, I want something which is a cleaner environment, and the facilities and amenity point of view, it is so convenient over there.
But Dubai के
Very honest.
दो कौन तो Dubai के तो you have to
Do
suggest
cons.
something.
Before I get to do cons, Dubai feels like a theme, a country running a theme park, right? They focus so much on the citizens and the amenities that it literally feels like you're in a theme park. कि तुम्हें complaint number पे call करो, सब चीजें solve हो जाएंगी. All right. So two cons. One con, which is very obvious, is the temperature. It is horrible. Those 3 to 4 months living in Dubai is just painful. You cannot go out in the sun. एक second के लिए भी you go out, you can feel it pierce you. Right? It's that hot. Another con. It's very difficult to actually think about cons. I mean, for somebody who is in a mid to upper mid income category, Dubai is still very expensive to live in. It is highly expensive. Now they don't have taxes for sure, right? They won't charge you taxes, but everything is so expensive that you eventually end up paying more or less the same amount that you would have paid in India with the taxes. Now, in India, you would have paid 30% tax and then the cost of living.
Yeah.
Over there, the cost of living comes out to be around 30%, right? The
Oh, inbuilt.
rentals are,
Yeah.
sorry?
Everything is inbuilt in the.
Yeah, everything. I mean, to get a license, I've paid what, 2 lakh? If I talk about in INR, that is the official fees to get a license. यहाँ पे आपका 2000 को लाख रुपए में बन रहा है. So that's the huge difference that you see, right? These are the small things that they keep adding here and there, which the government charges, that eventually kind of becomes like a tax.
You answered very honestly. I must appreciate it. uh, then sort of Samar, so now you're building this I think application, right? Copilot. So अब इसमें क्या, what is the next steps, plan, launch? Is it launched already, customers, etc.? So what are your plans? Tell us.
We are very early at the moment. We are in fact doing our wireframing, finalizing the MVP.
Okay.
We are confident on the product that we're building and the value proposition that we're providing. And this is based on almost 200 to 300 agents, real estate agents that I've spent time with in Dubai in the last 2 years. Spoken to all of them, understood their way of operation. And we know what we are solving will change the landscape, at least in Dubai to begin with. We're not sure about the other locations. I can't divulge a lot of information, but that is what I'm going to stick to for now. And MVP stage is where we're at. We are building the MVP. We do not want to raise funds right now, even though we do have some soft commitments today that
Funds
yes,
को
we're
कौन
willing.
मना करता है? Funds को who is
Funds को आप तब मना करते when you realize equity is far more valuable than the money that you'll get today. That is when you say no to funds. We do not want to dilute ourselves right now because we know we can build it ourselves. So we will build it ourselves. We will launch it. We will let some revenue come in, and we want to raise money post revenue, not pre revenue. We want to be in that place to negotiate with the investors that, listen, we've got a solid product. We are generating revenue. Now let's.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I met this banker once, and I had the same answer, like अभी पैसा नहीं चाहिए, whatever. It's like Lakshmi को मना कौन करता है आने से actually. It's like someone is coming, bringing Lakshmi, and you're saying no. Like ये भी logic है.
असली लक्ष्मी तो आपके पास है सर. Again, equity is the real Lakshmi.
Equity is the real Lakshmi. ये भी बात सही है. So that's true. Awesome. So then, apart from all this, what keeps you busy?
So I'm hardcore into adventure, and Dubai is the place. I mean, you've got the best skydiving experience in Dubai that I've already done. Then you've got the longest zip line in the world. It's not in Dubai, but very close to Dubai, in Emirate, which is next to Dubai. And then you've got the deepest pool in the world, where you get to do the scuba diving. So every chance I get in Dubai to try out a new adventure is where I rush to. And that is what truly keeps me busy. And otherwise, though, when you're a startup founder, especially in the early stage, you don't really have time for anything at all. So right now we are back in that stage. We are early founders. Throughout the day, we are just on a laptop, figuring out the market, understanding how we can solve it better, how we can design it better, talking to a lot of designers to help with our UI UX, because now that we've done it once, we understand the true value a UX brings to the table. A lot of people ignore that. A lot of people, I mean, there is a saying out there that if you're not embarrassed by your first product, you've launched too soon or too late. Sorry. The point is that markets are changing, and certain markets are so mature that if you launch a half-baked product, you're gone. So you have to strike the right balance of not launching too late and at the same time doing it correctly.
So you mentioned a very critical point on UX. So recently, one of the India's leading UX company called Zux, they came on the podcast and they were sharing a story कि White Hat Junior का उन्होंने rebrand किया था. सीधा skyrocket कर गए user sign up after they changed the UI UX, और उसको बाइजू ने खरीद भी लिया. तो आप उनको कांटेक्ट करो, देखो वो UX लेवल में they are so good. I'm promoting them also. So मैंने कहा यही ठीक है, तभी उन्होंने एक्वायर भी कर लिया आपकी वजह से.
ये अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी है.
Yeah. So I believe in UX and all this funda. Bilkul, it works, and they did a terrific job. So shout out to them.
No, it's absolutely. I think it plays with the consumer's mind, right? Psychologically, the UI UX. It has a huge. Sometimes even if you're not solving a big problem, but even if it looks pretty, it's good. It's a feel good factor to it. People end up using it. Yeah, it just looks nice, right?
So
Just having your things over there. Now, I use this app called IND Wealth, right? Or
hmm.
IND Money. I forgot what it's called now.
Yes, by Ashish. It's
Correct.
Ashish. Yeah.
Right. Now, since I don't invest much in India, it does not solve a huge problem for me, right? But whatever assets that I have in India, I do put it on that app. It just looks nice. It just shows me in a very nice way, this is what I own. This is
True.
what my net worth is. These are what my expenses are. That's it. It's not solving a major problem for me. ये मैं एक Excel में भी maintain कर सकता हूँ,
Yeah.
right? But the UI UX of it looks very nice, and I love to see it very fancily mentioned on top that this is your net worth. It looks nice to see.
True.
So yeah, you are using an app even though it's not solving a huge problem. It looks nice.
Definitely. It has that pull for sure. Wonderful. Thanks a ton, Samarth, for your time. Great chatting with you. Super fun. And
This is
wish
all
you
mine.
really all the best for your new venture.
Thank you so much.
And yeah,